Don't judge Luke too hard. He is a football guy, but I've talked to him. He's a little smart with the hoops. He might not be the top
Yes.
guy, but he knows what he's talking about.
Old
Uh,
school basketball every day, people.
and then we have the OG, Mr. 3AC Sports Talk. How's it going, CA3?
I'm doing all right, man. It's nice to get a break, man. School about to be out, man. It's nice to get a break a little bit. So,
It's nice to have you back. Can you do me a favor? Go ahead and do a roll call real quick.
um, what's up, Joey Kappas? What's up, Marvin Tolbert? What's up, Micro Mike? What's up, Piston Post? What's up, DMAP Zoom? What's up, Adam Bukart? I mean, that's all that's in the chat right now. So, hopefully more people.
They'll be coming in throughout the show. So I appreciate everyone who is in here so far. Go ahead, check out the description. All links to DSA members in there, and also my links to Instagram and Twitter. So if you have not subscribed to Luke G or CA3 Sports Talk or Micro Mike or JMO or any of the rest of the fellas, be sure to do so. Their links are in the description. But we got a good one, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to go ahead and start with the recap of the Pistons and Mavericks, otherwise known as the avocado game for those of you guys who weren't following along. Andre Drummond is allergic to avocados, and apparently he had an avocado. I can't make this stuff up. I had an alert from my phone before the game. Said Andre was questionable, game time decision, avocado. That's all I got. The more I read into it, found out he had an avocado and had an allergic reaction to it. But he played, and he played pretty well. However, the Pistons did end up falling to the Dallas Mavericks in Mexico City. There was a lot of things wrong with the game. Primary problem with the Pistons is defense. You can't be a Detroit team, no matter if it's the Pistons, Lions, Tigers, or Red Wings, and not play defense. It's part of Detroit's culture and identity as a whole. So it's a problem when this team can't play defense. But I'm CA3. I'm going to go ahead and toss this one to you, man. What is one of the main reasons we lost to the Dallas Mavericks in Mexico City?
I mean, the main reason why we lost this game because I think Blake Griffin was trying to build a house in Mexico City. I mean, that's the main reason why we lost this game. The difference is, the difference in this game. I mean, if Blake Griffin just scores, let's say, gives us at least like 23, 24, we win this game. You know, I mean, like if Blake Griffin just shows up, we win this game. I mean, it's unfortunate that Seth Curry scores 30 points off the bench. I mean, but I think even if Blake Griffin showed, Andre played really well. The bench showed up. I mean, there's like 3 people in double digits off the bench. I mean, all we needed was Blake to show up, and we win this game. That's how I see it.
Hey, Adam, real quick, man. Does that mean no more white women for 2020? Just asking. That's what AB tweeted out last night. Hey, I'm not judging.
What?
You can't make up what AB says, man. And he's a funny guy.
Yeah,
Luke G, man, I know it was a late game, and I know you probably didn't see very much of it, but what was some of the things that stood out to you that the Pistons were not able to do against the Dallas Mavericks that they could not get the win?
The lack of rebounding. The formula for basketball has never been different. It has always been one that has been based around a very specific formula that wins, similar to football. In football, the team who can run the ball and play defense wins. Well, the team who rebounds generally gets the upper hand. And when you look at this game, the rebounding was horrible for the Pistons. You got our big man out there thinking he's doing his best Steph Curry impression, shooting threes. Why? Why is he out there? Blake Griffin thinks that he's the king of threes now. Why? Why is he out there? They should have been playing more like Rasheed and Big Ben, because if they did, they win this game because everything else was lining up. Free throws was lining up, 3-point shooting was lining up. Mavericks had 36.4% of theirs 3-pointers go down, 16 to 44. We was 15 to 42, 35.7% of ours going in. But where we differ at, and the biggest differential that killed us was on rebounds. The Dallas Mavericks had 52. We had 34. Now, that's a significant change, especially when you look at the possessions. Okay. Now, we did do okay in the steals department, but overall, the rebounding is the one thing that you can come back to and say, look, we missed opportunities on just rebounding. I don't know why they keep having our bigs go out there and want to play off away from the rim. We need to get back to the basics and have those guys do more post games and more rim guarding, if you will, to get the rebound. So we get those opportunities. But when you're giving a guy, or not a guy, but when you're giving a team 52 rebounds to your 34, almost 20 more rebounds, yeah, you probably gonna have a rough day.
Hey, Luke, do you work out, man? Because you need to flex after that one, man. You're very first take on the rim coming out with statistics. I did not see that one coming, man. That was good stuff, and you're not wrong. A lot of it is when Andre Drummond's not out there on the court. A lot of people say Derrick Rose or Blake Griffin are what drive this team. They're great players, but we live and die by Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond had a great first half, and guess what? We were hanging with the Dallas Mavericks, going toe-to-toe with them. At points, we were going back and forth. Lee was going back and forth. It was a great, entertaining game. As soon as we take Andre out of the game for just a little bit, our leads start to dwindle. And it wasn't just against the Mavericks. It's been not all year long. It's been a whole entire Andre Drummond career-long thing. We live and die by Andre. He's our motor. It's incredible to look at the plus-minus difference when he's out there versus when he is not out there. It's night and day difference. That's why when we got a guy like Christian Wood, he kind of helps take some of that burden off the rest of the team. He's a high motor guy. It's good to have those two players, but Andre and Christian Wood are the only people out there trying to get rebounds. You watch, who did we play? I can't remember. Oh, it was Milwaukee. We played them last week. You would think since Giannis is averaging, 13, 14 rebounds a game, he's really the only player out there getting boards. No. Go back and rewatch some of that film out there. They had 4 guys in the paint going for the rebound.
Yep.
Rebounds are literally an extra possession. So for the people who say rebounding is not important, you're solely mistaken because it is a very huge part of the game.
Yeah, history shows it. History shows that it's important.
I believe Andre is still the leading leader in rebounds because he's the best in the game. But as a whole, the Pistons are one of the worst rebounding teams in the entire NBA.
That's sad.
And it draws parallels. It draws parallels to the other sports teams in the city. You know, when you talk about efficiency and production, it's the little things that we overlook too often. The rebounding, to me, what frustrates me about it, and one of the reasons when I watch basketball games that I get irritated, I don't understand why somebody as big as Andre Drummond is shooting threes. Like as the opposition, I'm happy when I see him doing that, because if he's out there shooting threes, who's rebounding?
Right.
Rose? I mean, who's a rebounder? So it irritates me.
I mean, here's how I view. I mean, big stepping out. I mean, like, I don't mind if you shoot threes, but you just can't shoot them all the time. I mean, like, it is good if you're able to shoot threes, but just don't keep shooting them all the time. Like, I believe Joel Embiid would be 10 times better if he wasn't outside trying to shoot so much.
Yeah, but I think if Andre, this is what I personally think Andre Drummond should do. I think Andre Drummond need to talk to his agent, talk to all his friends, and find somebody to talk to Tim Duncan, because he should be playing like Tim Duncan. You're not going to see Tim Duncan trying to run out there. I'm going to get this 3 in. Yeah. He's not doing that. He's not doing it. He's doing the grunt work, rebounds, layup, post game, mid-range shot. That should be what Andre Drummond does. Andre Drummond, at times, to me, seems like he's trying to build his own brand for superstardom. And when you're doing that, it's hard for you to truly win as a team, because, like I said, the biggest guy on the court for you is not down there to get the rebound. Yeah. You're not gonna see Shaq or any of those old past great centers bumping out from away from the rim, talking about, let me get that 3 though. Yeah, you're not gonna see that.
No,
I think part of it is the new era of big men. I don't know if you guys watch TNT on NBA or NBA and TNT with Shaq and Charles Barkley, 2 of the greatest big men to ever play in the game. And Charles is really one of the most underrated big men of all time, because he's not really a big man, but he played power forward, and he was an undersized power forward. But you want to talk about an all-time great rebounder, Charles was certainly one of them. But they were talking about Joel Embiid and how, since he's technically the most talented center in the league, he should be dominating, getting 28 and 12 or whatever on those lines. And I think someone from Andre's perspective, someone who's been averaging 15 rebounds his entire career, he's not getting the shine that he's used to getting, because the Pistons haven't really put a good squad around him. but he doesn't play like a modern big. He plays like an old school big, but he hasn't had the post game. So I think in Dre's mind, he's thinking, well, if Joel Embiid's putting up all these points and he's a shooter, that I need to do that too. But the thing about Embiid and Jokic is they do rebound. You know, they are still the best rebounders on their team. They play defense. They do a lot more than just shoot threes. And I think the first half in the Dallas game is just a glimpse of what Andre Drummond could and should be. They had no answer for him. They had absolutely no answer. Kristaps Porzingis is 7'4", 7'5", somewhere around that ballpark. He's a big boy. No answer for Andre the first half. But they don't stick with him. They didn't feed him the ball. I mean, he was taking him on the block. You don't hear that too much these days. And he was getting easy twos. But, you know, there's this personal love affair between Dwayne Casey and Blake Griffin where we need to give the ball to him. Everyone else get out the way like he's Michael Jordan or Kobe and let him do a step back three because he's not healthy yet and he can't keep driving to the hoop. It's a problem. One of the reasons that I've been knocking Dwayne Casey is he doesn't adjust to how the game is being played. You know, if someone's got a hot hand, whether it's Derrick Rose, Andre, Luke Kennard, doesn't matter. There's going to be a play for Blake Griffin, which is all fair and well in the beginning of the game. But if someone else has got it going on, you have to give them the ball. And he didn't do it to Andre. That's part of the reason Luke Kennard's numbers are slipping up now. What game did Derrick Rose hit the buzzer beater? The Pelicans. The play before he hit the buzzer beater, he gave it to Blake Griffin. You have to give the ball to the player who has the hot hand. And that's one of the things Dwayne Casey has not done. And that's one of the reasons I don't like him that much.
I personally don't understand why you're 6'10" taking 10 threes, but but that's not the point.
Right, and I personally don't have a problem with Dwayne Casey. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing that I look at when it comes to, let me rephrase it. Football and basketball obviously are two different sports, right? And the coaching of it is always going to be different. My view on football coaches is always going to be skewed versus how it is in the NBA. In the NBA, when you come in, you obviously are managing egos, right? But Casey is shown in the past that if you give him the right players who has this key word, discipline. That's the key word, discipline. It gets done. What you see on the Pistons are individuals who are trying to create legacies for themselves. And that's no problem with that. But they need to know how to do it within a team atmosphere. Blake Griffin feels that I'm the superstar of this team, so therefore I should touch the ball and do all these things. Where I will fault Casey on is moving the ball out of Blake Griffin's hands and more into Rose's hands. And let it facilitate through Rose through the other players. So I'll knock Casey for that. But outside of that, in the utilization of players, Casey is doing a very good job, realistically. But it's just that you got these guys who trying to get shoe deals and hat deals and other commercials and endorsements, and so they're not playing within a team atmosphere, and it shows when they play these games.
Well, I mean, defense is a huge part of what's going on with this team. It's not doing well. I mean, we just gave up 41 points, triple doubles to Luka, and all we did was put Bruce Brown on him, and Bruce Brown got cooked. Bruce Brown is not a lockdown defender yet. He's a very scrappy guy, but we couldn't slow down Luka. We absolutely couldn't. And Luka's a great player. I'm a Mavs fan, so I'm happy that as a Mavericks fan, we got a guy like Luka. But we had literally like 3 days to prepare for a game plan against Luka. I figured we would have some kind of double team action going on or something. We had no answer for it. And I thought he was going to get off to a slow start. He started off 1 of 5 from the free throw line, like in the first 2 minutes of the game. And we just couldn't slow him down. We didn't put a body on him. We didn't play physical with him. It is sad that as a coach, you didn't have a better defensive game plan to slow down a hot scorer like that. Give credit where it's due with Luka. I mean, right now he is in the MVP conversation, which we're going to talk about that later on. This guy's been balling. And he's only 20, 21, somewhere around that ballpark.
Yeah, that dude's good. He's really good.
It is. It's fun to watch him, but I mean, as a Pistons fan first, we got to have a better job game planning against that. I mean, he cooked us in every single statistic on the box score. Bob, I am not a bandwagon fan, man. I've been a Mavs fan ever since day one. Pistons first, Mavs second. I'm not a bandwagon, so
you wreck
yourself.
Hey, I get that same heat when people be like, "How can you like 3 NFL teams?" I'm like, "It's 32 of them. Why I got to just be with one? It's 32 of them. Like, what do you mean? You know,
I
come
mean,
on, like."
I'm called Detroit Drew, not Dallas Drew. So
right, right. It ain't like you change your name to a weird Maverick Drew.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, it's cool.
I like multiple players too. So it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it to me in that and to me when it comes to the game planning for other teams' most electrifying player, I see what Casey tried to do to him. I do, but I also see where there could be improvements in the way that he do defend him. It seems like other teams make quick adjustments in game to neutralize whatever we're doing until you put Rose in and he starts driving to the rim. But outside of that, I don't see a lot of the adjustments being made with Casey in that department because it was no rotational defense going on where, okay, when he starts to drive, somebody roll over there to get him to push that ball back out. I'm not seeing a lot of that. I'm not seeing a lot of the zones and stuff like that. I'm seeing more so of the, okay, you're responsible for stopping this dude. And it's like, but you realize that person can't stop him. So you got to help him. You know, you got to find some kind of way to blanket him to force him to put the ball out of his hands. And I don't see us doing that too often. So I can see your frustration when it comes to that department. I think overall with the Pistons though, there are some other things going on, and we talked about it off air on like why Rose is not starting because that's what's killing and slowing us down in a lot of the ways. And if the argument is that, oh well, we don't have anybody else to come off the bench, then go get them. And if that means moving on from Blake Griffin, then move on from Blake Griffin. Move on from whoever you need to move on from that's going to get you into a style of basketball. We got to get back to the basics in the old school basketball if we're going to be good.
Yeah.
And part of not starting Rose is personally, I think since Reggie's coming back, I mean, knowing Dwayne Casey now don't get mistwisted. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but Dwayne Casey's instantaneously going to put Reggie Jackson back into the starting five. Not saying I want it, not saying it's right. I'm just telling you, in the mind of Dwayne Casey, that's what he's going to do. So then that way, our 1-2 punch of having Reggie and Rose starting it's a possibility, but they're going to have one coming off the bench. I think when he comes back in the fourth quarter, you're going to see a lineup of probably Derek at the 1 and Reggie at the 2 and have two playmakers out there. They experimented just a little bit with that, but you're going to see that. So I think that's part of the reason we're not going to trade for a point guard, right, wrong, or indifferent. We're not going to bring up Jordan Bone, right, wrong, or indifferent, because Dwayne Casey sees Reggie Jackson, he sees Derrick Rose, he sees 2 point guards. Not sure what's going to happen with Bruce Brown at this point, but we needed a point guard very, very bad because as good as Bruce is on defense, which he's a scrappy guy, he's not really a lockdown yet. He's not a scorer, and we needed a scorer out there to take pressure off of Blake and Drummond, which certainly Reggie Jackson can bring that to the table, which Derrick Rose we know brings to the table. Both Blake and Reggie, or Blake and Dre, are pick and roll big guys, and Blake is now a pick and pop big guy. Both Derrick Rose and Reggie bring that. Bruce Brown, not so much. So I think Dwayne Casey's looking at the future, which, again, I don't know why he didn't bring Jordan Bone up right now. I figured he would have been a great fit for him. But Bruce has really been hurting us offensively with not even getting assists, with not making layups. I mean, Bruce is getting great looks. Players are disrespecting Bruce so much, they're not even playing defense on him. They're just backing up. And he's getting wide open layups and dunk opportunities, and he's blowing them. It's not a good look for him. I know Bruce is going to be a good player in the future. He's got all the credentials to be a good player. I like his future for this team, but right now, when we're in a win now mode, he's not helping us. So we'll have to see where he's going to go from here. But when Reggie comes back, I think we'll be better than what we are at now. Again, Reggie's not going to make us a championship team or anything like that, but efficiently we'll be better offensively. No, Miss J, man, you there?
Yes, what's going on?
How's it going? What up, though? No.
What up?
What up? Oh my goodness, what up, Luke?
I know, right?
Hey. I told you
court review.
I'm all here for the. I'm all here for the smoke, baby. All sports. As long as you don't talk to me about no golf, you got me. You got me. I don't know nothing about golf. I used to be disrespectful to golf players until I tried it, and I changed my mind. It's harder than it looks.
Luke, I can guarantee you one thing on Detroit Drew's channel. We're not going to talk about 3 sports: bowling, golf, and soccer. So
I appreciate it.
Soccer and bowling. Wait a minute.
Hey, you got your own channel, Noam. You can go talk about it over there. No.
He said you in the wrong room for that one.
So, Noam, while we got you here, man, let's get your quick thoughts on what happened between the Detroit Pistons and Mavericks. What went wrong? What did you see in that game the other night in Mexico City?
Coaching. It's obviously coaching. 2, it proves more why I said we should have been giving Jordan Ball more minutes from the early get-go, because he's a better shooter than Bruce Brown. Or, you know what I'm saying? So find somebody. That's been an issue. We don't have a point guard that can lead us in scoring. He can do ball distributing, but if he can't score some kind of way, it's causing a problem. You know what I'm saying? We had a couple of guys we usually counted on too who didn't quite have a good game, but that wasn't the overall reason. You know, bad defense, bad adjustments, and poor coaching. These are the things that's going to be the haunting of Dwayne Casey. Remember I said, I said, if he don't show early that he can get out his usual ways, it's going to haunt us in the long run. You still got an opportunity to do it, but that was like a step back.
But let me ask you this now. Do you feel that the issue is really on coaching, or do you feel like it's more on the players who are trying to get this notoriety? Because when I watch these games, I see more players trying to get their shine on. They're not playing team ball.
It's both of them. It's both, in particularly Blake. That's the main one trying to get a shine on, man. I mean, Blake is primarily he's an inside scorer. He's chucking those jump shots. If you're gonna be running the ball, I need you penetrating and attacking the rim like you normally know to do.
Pause. I don't like how you said that, but we're gonna let you ride though. Go ahead. Gotta be careful with the wordplay now. Just be careful. Just go ahead though, but just be mindful. You get a 3 pause minimum. You already got 1. Don't go for 2. All right.
3 strikes and you're out, no.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but he has to be inside scorer, man. You know, if the jump shots are not working, don't keep on doing it. You know what you're known for doing, man. Score inside. Get the rhythm going. You know, play small ball. That's what he should be doing. He's a heavy ball dominant guy, so you should be scoring inside. You know what I'm saying? Instead of chucking on Johnson, it just should have been more adjustments.
You see what you just did to Noam, Luke? He was thinking about words after he said
ball. Yeah. You got to be careful. Listen. You got to you get a 3 pause minimum. At the 3, you're out. I'm just telling you. You got 1. Don't go for 2. I mean, he got to penetrate. I don't like how that sounds. We got to pause that. Then we get it together. I just want to put that out there. You know.
I'm sorry, Noam. I had to point it out, bro.
Oh man.
Got to be careful with these wordplay, man. We can't have people. We got kids listening. You talking about penetrations? It's too much. Okay. This is a family show. This is a family show. I just want people to know it's a family show.
Yes, sir.
Now, Victor G says trade Blake for a small forward. I agree with that. If you look at this team, who gives you the best chance to get the most back in assets? Drummond and Blake. If I can get 4 players who's going to play team ball, I'll take that all day. If you go back to the 04 Pistons, it wasn't nothing more than 5 to 6 players who just wanted to play team ball. It wasn't on one person's shoulders to carry it. Everybody played the role that they was asked to do. And
I think if we're trading Blake, the guy on the market, or reportedly that will be on the market, is D'Angelo Russell, a point guard. There's not really going to be a small forward out there available who's going to come in and make this team the next level, you know. But if we're trading Blake, we can go out there and get an all-star in D'Angelo Russell. He's just not going to be a small forward. But that goes to, do you want to trade Blake Griffin to the Golden State Warriors? Because not this year, but next year, they're going to have Steph Curry. They're going to have Klay Thompson. You want Blake Griffin, Blake Griffin's going to be the third option over there. That's a damn good third option over there. Now,
Yeah,
if they have to give
But
Draymond
he
up,
fits better over there.
again, though, you're going to give him to the Warriors. The Warriors.
I could
but
care
but,
less.
but Drew, let me ask you this, Drew. Why do we care what the Warriors do?
I don't, but I'm just saying for the NBA, man, that would be. It's not KD's level, but you're gonna have to start talking about them being better than the Lakers, the Clippers, the Mavericks.
That's cool. That's cool, and we can meet them in the championship game. I'm not worried about what they're doing over there. Right
I
now,
agree with Luke.
I'm trying to figure out how to get this team better, and if I get him as far as I can away from where we got to see him until if I ain't got to see Blake Griffin until the NBA Finals, he can go to the Warriors. He can go to heaven, hell. I don't care. He can go anywhere as long as he's not there.
He probably won't be there in the finals anyway. He'll probably be hurt, but
Yeah, that's my point. I was about to say.
And that's the thing I'm looking at. If you're telling me that the best trade partner we have is the Warriors, then so be it. Get them going. Because the way I'm looking at it is like this: we getting too caught up in trying to find the name. We getting too caught in 2004. The Pistons showed us that there's a formula that we can go with. Go back to the 89, 90, 91 seasons with the Pistons. They showed us what the formula. You don't always need the name. You just need people who want to play together. That's it.
For example, Christian Wood. Christian Wood was just an undrafted free agent that nobody really knew like that. Got some minutes last year with the Pelicans. Balled out, brung over here. We saw the potential with this guy. And look at him. He's been one of our most favorite players coming off that bench.
You guys are both right. I mean, look at the 2004 Pistons. I mean, they traded Grant Hill, a superstar, for Ben Wallace, who was coming off the bench. And guess what? He set the foundation for the going to work Pistons. And you're right about Christian Wood. You guys are both right. I'm not going to argue there. Not. You have to look at what Dwayne Casey has done both here and in Toronto. They have found good players. I mean, half the people in Toronto were second-round draft picks, undrafted people. I don't remember where Siakam went, but that guy is nice. He should have been drafted earlier than whatever.
Second round.
Exactly.
Van Vliet was undrafted.
Yeah, Van Vliet was undrafted, and Siakam was the second-round pick. And
those are their two best players right now. I trust Dwayne Casey and Ed Stefanski to get the right players in there. Christian Wood's a good example of that. He's getting players right now who fit. I like Markieff coming in off the bench. They have done a good job of getting good role players. We just need these names of ours, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, and Andre Drummond, to play consistent. It seems like they're never going off altogether. And it seems like only one of them's going off a game. If we can get 2 out of the 3 to go off a game, we won't have a problem. Our record would be better than where it's at. But Blake's still not 100% healthy. I want to say he's around 80 to 85% healthy. That's a problem because Blake is probably the most talented player on this team offensively. D Rose is on a minute restriction. Dwayne Casey's not going to play him over 20, 25 minutes a game. So that already hurts you. So then you have to rock with Bruce Brown, the point guard, who is not setting up Andre. So I mean, it's a big problem. And you guys are right. They need to go out there and find some of these names. And I think Jordan Bone is one of those guys that's down there in the G League that not too many people know about.
Jordan Bone and Dante Hall, for that matter, as a backup center.
Yeah, I've never heard of neither of those players. So as you're gonna see, I'm a bow out of that because I'm not sure who those guys are.
No, but look, I've been balling though in the G League. He's been balling. He had like one standout game recently.
One standout game?
I forgot what he had. No, he had like a.
It was like 15 points, like 11 rebounds and some blocks and a slam dunk on a dude where he looked at him real nasty after he dunked on him. That was crazy. Knocked him to the ground and looked at him. Mean mother. Well, I was about to say, remember the Pistons were getting the multiple guys to score though before Blake came back. Like remember when we started the season, we started without him. Everybody was going off, and then as soon as he come back, it seemed like the chemistry was kind of messing up. And that was kind of the problem. And now they got to try to get back used to playing with each other again. Like, you got, like you said, you got Markieff Morris. Markieff Morris, to me, especially for a Pistons roster, is a legitimate starter for us. And you got quality guys like him coming off the bench. The problem is that, like I said, you need a point guard that you can rely on scoring and distribute the basketball. And maybe stop making Blake Griffin the primary pass option all the time, too. Because if you get your big man going, that's going to call it. They so hard to cover between those two. You get Andre going, now you got to worry about him, and then that leaves Blake open to get wherever he needs. That's what they need to find a way to do. They need to run this offense through the point guard and Andre Drummond. That's the key to opening up this Pistons offense.
And Luke's on it, man. After watching Derrick Rose play for however long the NBA season's been going on, if you watch the film, highlights, whatever it is, when Derrick Rose gets it going, say he's got 10, 15 points, whatever the normal is for him, they're at all times after he gets it going, 3 at minimum guys in the paint. So that's why Langston Galloway's been having a good year. That's why Luke Kennard's been having a good year. And it seems lately they haven't been using that lineup. I mean, I don't even remember hearing Luke's name pop up the last few weeks here. I don't know what's going on, but you need to put Derrick Rose in a position to play with Andre and Blake, have all 3 of them out there at the same time. It makes your team better. And the other 2 guys could be Luke Kennard, Luke, Langston. Doesn't matter because they're going to go ahead and get open shots. It's as simple as that. You have to do offensively to counteract what the team is doing defensively. When they put 3 guys in the paint, well, you're going to have an open shooter out there. And then if they don't and they miss, guess what? The league's leading rebounder is down in the paint to get an offensive rebound. Basketball is not a hard sport, man. It's pretty simple.
Yep. And people want to make it. They want to make it chess. It is just checkers. And one of the things I noticed with Dwayne Casey, because he has players who are not 100% and players who are still hurt, that's why he's using Rose so sparingly. He's like, hey, I need a spark. I need somebody to be the spark in the lightning rod. But I'm like, how about you try just once? Let the spark start from the beginning and be the lightning rod off the bat. You don't have to wait until you get it, man. Because even when you watch the game against the Pelicans, he come off the bench and they go on a nice run. Yeah. Then he go to the bench, run stops. And I'm just trying to figure out, how much longer are we going to do this with giving people a chance? But the thing that Blake does for this team is he at the very minimum least, what he does is he allows for people to still want to just say, oh, I want to watch it because Blake's here. We got to move away from the name and move into team basketball. Teams still win. When you watch the Bucks, they play team basketball.
Yes.
And we're not doing that, and that's where the problems are coming in. And I would love to see, some type of move happen soon. But as long as we're buying tickets and TV ratings is up, it's not going to happen too soon.
I'm gonna take your line, Luke. Take it a step further, man. Look at Giannis at the Milwaukee Bucks. Look at the Lakers. Look at the Mavericks. Look at the Clippers. All these teams are some of the best teams in the league right now. And what do they play? They play defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake Griffin is getting torn apart defensively. I mean, he's never been a great one-on-one defender to begin with. He is actually a pretty solid team defender. But this isn't the NFL, man. You don't have a guy to back you up. It's 5-on-5. If you get beat, odds are you're toast, and that's an easy bucket.
But he could do some things. He could do some things to improve that part of his game, and I think that the team could do some things to improve that part of his game. So, like the way I look at it is like this. I look at it. I call it the octopus effect, right? An octopus has 8 tentacles. You can cut one off. The other 7 is going to pick up where the one is gone. And so when I watch the Pistons, if y'all know Blake is not a good one-on-one on the ball defender, that's when you have to start to say, okay, when this person drives Blake, I need you to pinch him here towards me so we can stop those type of plays where they're driving. To me, the best thing you could do is force teams to shoot threes. It's a low percentage play in basketball because of how far the ball has to travel. It's not as efficient as a layup or a dunk. It's very low percentage. They have to come up with ways to be able to feed off each other's weaknesses and strengths. That's what we're lacking. That's what Dwayne Casey is trying to build. And when they start to fix that part of the game, I think you'll start to see more of Detroit winning basketball. That, and if they let us start going back to slamming people on the court, that'd be nice too.
But when it all comes back to rebounding, though, man, because when we limit them to 3-point shots, we have Andre switching out to the perimeter. So when Andre contests a 3, which for some reason when Andre does, they think they got the green light, and they pull it up in Andre's face. Now, they hit it a lot in Andre's face, but when they don't, we don't have anyone else on there to rebound. And we give up a lot of offensive rebounds when we have Andre on the perimeter guarding the three-point line. So, I mean, the rebounding and defense go hand to hand. See, I know you were trying to talk there, man. What were you trying to say?
I feel like right now at this point, I think Andre's the most valuable player to this team by far, but Blake's the most talented. I mean, like I feel because like when I watch Pistons games, it just seems like when Andre's out of the game, it's just a whole different story. Like it's just weird. Like we just play horribly when Andre's out of the game.
Hey, look at that, Luke. Marvin Tolbert says, "You know your basketball." That's got to be very good.
Well, you got to remember too, when we have Andre off the field, we got Don Maker coming in there too, stacking.
And I feel always. I actually liked how they were playing without when Blake wasn't playing on the team, but for some reason, because it seemed like they're actually moving the ball around. They're playing team ball, like you guys said, but it seems like when Blake has come back, it hasn't turned out well because it seems like we're just trying to play Blake ball. I hate when we play Blake ball. It's annoying. It annoys me.
But I don't even know if we want to call it Blake ball. It's not. I don't know why. Blake should get the most of the attention, right? Like he should be the one getting the look at. But what they're doing is they're deferring to him too much.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You can't keep deferring to him when he's not 100%. And when he is, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, which is go to the rim. He somehow think he's now Stephen Curry. And I'm like, you can't do this. You have to be able to use your big body and go to the rim. The biggest thing that irritates me the most when I watch the Pistons is where is the post game and when are we going to start doing it?
We have no post game. Nobody has a post game.
Like we're not going down low trying to draw the attention of people to crash the rim. Nobody wants to crash the rim because guess what? Nobody's willing to stay down there. Everybody wants to shoot. But if you just understand basic laws of physics, everybody can't shoot.
True.
And we had to buckle that down and get back to team ball. I remember watching a Golden State Warrior game. Steph wasn't even in. Obviously, a lot of people was out. But they passed the ball so much that I literally was like, if they pass this ball one more time, I'm just going to go ahead and just call it quits. And they did it again and again. And guess what? When they got down to the wire, the people got tired of chasing the ball that was being passed, and they get a clean shot. The Pistons, I ain't seen them do that yet this season. It's 1 to 3 passes and shoot. That can't happen.
You know, this league has really transitioned to outside of James Harden. ISO balls really hurting teams, man, and it does not work. Statistics, analytics, and stuff have all taken over the game. And even though at times when you need a bucket, guess what they go to? They go to isolation. But to run ISO the entire game, it doesn't work. Part of the reasons the Golden State Warriors were the best team in the league, not just to count the fact they had the 3 best players in the league and just like stole everybody, they played team ball, and he's 100% right. They moved it, and even though they're probably one of the best 3-point shooting teams of all time and probably have the greatest 3-point shooter of all time on their team, they shot a lot of 2s. They had a lot of points in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
So they came, even though when you overplayed the 3, guess what? They punished you in the paint. And then when you started protecting the paint, they went right back to moving the ball in the perimeter and shot 3s. They were a very good, well-coached team.
And I look at teams like the Celtics and the Nets, and I'm seeing how the Celtics are playing without Kyrie. I mean, I love Kyrie as a basketball player, but he was a little toxic to the team. I mean, the team plays way better with Kimba in that role now because they move the ball around more, and I mean they have like 3 20-point scorers now, like because the ball moves around more. And then I look at the Nets. Kyrie's hurt right now. They're winning more games without Kyrie because the ball is moving. Mm-hmm. Like ISO is just not working quite as much.
No, and like I said, history repeats itself. Go back to the 04 Pistons. Rip running 13 times in a circle. Guess what that guy that was chasing him did? He said, fuck it. Excuse my French. He said, forget it. He wasn't going to keep chasing this guy around. And when they kept passing the ball, you get exhausted. Because the one thing I know, when the ball is getting passed like that, ankles get real exhausted and get real weak. Defense start to get real relaxed then. And the only reason I know that is because I was never a good basketball player. But I could play defense, and I remember that I played a street basketball game. They passed the ball so much that my ankles just said, nah, bro, this ain't going to work. And I'm telling you, what happens is they get exhausted, and now it makes the shot a little bit easier because now you can't redirect yourself because your ankles have been burned up. So this right here is simple stuff. It's the little stuff that we need to look at. It's not the big stuff. It's not three-point shooting. It's rebounding, playing from inside out, and being able to play team ball. Force them to pick their poison. You want to keep jumping Blake? Well, we're going to kill you inside all day with Andre. You want to play inside? Okay, we'll just kill you with mid-range shots with Blake and everybody else. Oh, you want to cover that? We'll just drive with Rose. But they're not doing the little stuff. They're not playing team ball. They're playing, let me get this endorsement. Let me get this gym shoe. Let me get this girl. She looked real nice on that Instagram feed. That's what they're playing. And that is what's ruining the Pistons as we know it. They got to get back to team basketball. And then when that happens, we'll be good.
You know, I think we have just set a record on Above the Rim for talking about one topic for so long. I have not had to change it up. We've been talking about this one topic for almost 40 minutes now. That's pretty impressive, man.
Hey.
Well, can we get into another topic then? Because this is kind of into the question I had.
Go for it.
Do y'all think possibly that Christian Woods actually could fit a small forward position?
Fit the small forward?
Mm-hmm.
I like him as a 4. He's really a 4 to me, and he can play small ball at 5. Putting him at the 3, he's a nice player. I mean, he can bring up the ball and stuff, but I mean, he really shouldn't be a primary ball handler. Small forward really needs to be able to do everything or one thing well. I like him as a backup big man. He's a great guy to have when Andre gets into foul trouble. There could be opportunities out there where you could see him play with Blake and Dre, but for like a long, permanent at a time in a game, I don't think that would be a good idea. You could do it for a small amount of time.
I mean, yeah, it's because I see him do a lot of stuff a lot of our other small forwards hasn't done. And that's actually attack the basketball, bro. A lot more.
Yeah, but what are you going to be asking him to do at the small forward? That's what I'm confused about. Because if you're telling me, oh, can he play the 3? I mean, anybody can play the position. What are you asking him to do at that position?
I'm asking him to be a scorer and a defender. I'm not asking him.
Then I'm with Drew.
Yeah. Okay.
Because to me, when you start to ask him to do all that, and then you put him in that spot from the 3, I don't like the idea of him playing that role. You see what I'm saying? Like.
He's not a 3. Yeah. I mean, he's not a 3 to me. I mean, I think I would prefer him at the 4, and as a small ball 5, like Drew said, he's not a 3.
Okay.
I mean,
just a suggestion.
Yeah, because when you said it, I was sitting here thinking like, well, what do you want him to do? You know, when you go back and you look at some of the small forwards that have played and what they were asked to do, are you asking him to do similar things? And I'm like, well, no, I don't know if he's gonna do that. But if you're telling me that what you said is I want him to be this, nah, I don't know if I would. I feel like that's experimenting at a time where we ain't got time to be experimenting.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
We got a fellow Flintstone in the house, Mart. I didn't realize you're from Flint. How's it going, man? It's good to see that you play with Glenn Rice. That's pretty dope.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Flint, Northwestern, all the Flint schools are really talented at basketball. I mean, it's Flint, but is Northwestern closed now? I know a lot of the Flint schools were closed, and I don't remember which ones are open now. But that's cool that you got to play with Glenn Rice back in the day, though.
For sure.
Let's go ahead and transition to this since we've almost been on for an hour now. We got a lot more to talk about. I believe it is tonight the Pistons are taking on the Houston Rockets, which means we have to take on James Harden. We have to take on Wes Brick. I'm glad we did not trade for him because he's been missing a lot of shots. So, CA3, man, I'm going to start this one with you, man. What are you looking for tonight? What is your game plan for the Detroit Pistons versus the Houston Rockets?
Oh, man. First of all, I mean, you got to find some way. I mean, you're not going to stop James Harden, but you got to find some way to kind of limit James Harden. You know, kind of control James Harden. I mean, you don't want James Harden to drop 50 like he did last night I think he dropped 50 last night, right?
I think it was like 54 or something.
Yeah, 54 last night. I mean, you gotta keep him under control, and then I mean, if you can kind of limit James Harden, you can win the game, and then Russell Westbrook, he's probably gonna get his numbers. I mean, but you got to get rebounds, you got to dominate. I mean, and then when Andre has had a good game, he has to have an efficient game, and the bench has to show up. If the bench doesn't show up, we can't win this game because we only have one true point guard, and that's Derrick Rose. I mean, so we're gonna have to get a lot of the production off the bench, and of course they won't start Derrick Rose. So, and then I think Christian Wood has to show up as well. I mean, everybody's got to show up to win this game because the Houston Rockets are a better team than us as of now.
This is really going to come down to the matchups, because it's going to come down to this in guard play. Derrick Rose is going to have to play a really good game because we're going to have to put Bruce on James Harden, and depending on how well how well Bruce is going to step up defensively is going to determine how well we do. I mean, Houston's coming off a back-to-back. Harden scored 50-something. So how tired is he going to be is going to come into it. But they're going to put James Harden, Bruce defensively because Bruce is not an efficient part of our offense. So they're going to hide James Harden's poor defense on Bruce. But on the other side, if Bruce is going to be guarding Harden, that means we're going to have to put Luke Kennard on Westbrook. So Westbrook's going to be able to take Luke right off the dribble because Luke's not really a great defender either. So, I mean, that's going to be those matchups we're going to have to see. Yeah. Our guards are severely outmatched this one. We need a good game from Luke, and it's not like Westbrook's a great defender either. We're gonna need him to have a good offensive game, and then
we're a pretty good defender.
Go ahead, no.
I was gonna say this. I figured that would be the question, like how we're gonna stop their guards. My only concern going into this game, and I could be wrong, my concern going into this game is us putting too much effort on trying to stop James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I'm more concerned about the guys around them. We always get caught like that. Every time we try to go like the biggest name on the team, that's when everybody else does something kill it. I say we stop everybody else, kind of let them do what they go do, and put our best foot forward offensively.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that up with this now. For me, when I look at tonight's game, I was thinking the same thing you was thinking. I'm like, don't put too much attention on trying to stop that one guy. Play more controlled defense. In other words, let them come to you and you dictate the outcome and turn them around. On offense, I want to see more of an attack offense. I'm sick of this 3-point shooting stuff. I want to see more. I want to see more attacking of the rim. I need to see more. Because this is getting ridiculous with these 200, 300-point games that we keep seeing. So the Pistons have the ability to kill all that, especially even though they got James Harden. James Harden likes to take his jumpers and stuff, and he likes to drive to the rim. But guess what? If James Harden the only one who's gonna gotta get stuff done, and you shut down everybody else, then James Harden gonna have a long day.
You're right.
Yeah, he ain't finna score 100.
And pretty much to me, I would rather you have Luke Kennard checking James Harden and putting Bruce on Westbrook, because knowing for the fact of the matter, who go guard Andre? I mean, no offense to Clint Capella, but if you get Andre going, Clint is not going to do nothing.
Well, I think the matchup in our favor is Blake Griffin. Blake has not played well the last 2 games. He's been a liability. You're going to put P.J. Tucker on Blake Griffin? No offense to P.J. He's a very scrappy dude. He's going to be trying to get inside of Blake Griffin's head. And that's going to be the matchup right there with them two, because he's a good defender. But, I mean, Blake should overpower him. I mean, Blake should have his way tonight. Blake needs to have a good game. I think I said Derrick Rose and Blake need to have a good game. I think Blake needs to have the best game out of everybody on this team. We were just saying we were going to trade him. I seen Kurt say trade Blake again. Blake needs to step up tonight and show that he is the guy still. He's been MIA the last 2 games. Tonight's the night. He needs to step up.
Right. Another key offensive factor, too, I'll say is if Bruce Brown decides to show offensively as well, that could be the total of us win. Because if you can get him and Derrick Rose to get going, that should really set the tone of offense.
I can't expect him to step offensively, though. I can't expect him to do that.
So who you guys taking tonight? Luke G, I'm gonna start with you, man. Who you taking tonight? Houston or the Pistons?
I'm taking the Pistons. I'm gonna tell you why I'm taking the Pistons. I there's a little trend going around the NBA where people are not putting their all in for game because they know it don't have no strong effect on their season. I don't think Houston's going to come in with this. Oh, we got to bury them to keep this moving. I think they come in and play a little bit light, and Detroit sneaks up on them and get the win. They like, oh well, at least I came out not hurt. I mean, I think Detroit ultimately will keep it close, but if they don't keep it close, I won't be surprised if they win this game. I'm going Detroit with the upset. Just like I don't think Houston is going to give two cares. I think they just played, if I'm not mistaken, a day or two ago.
They played
last night. That's what it was. Okay, I know I'm not tripping. They not finna exert that energy. This is a we got to play again type game. So I expect Detroit to win this.
I like it. No, Miss J, man. Who you taking? Who, what, where, and why?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same way with Luke, but slightly different. My only thing is, we have owned the Rockets for a while now. Like, when you think about it, it's because it's a matchup problem with the Pistons. For some reason, like I said before, we got a better, to me, dominant core of big men. And if they are a factor in this game, that's going to make things a lot harder for their guards because they run everything off their guards. So if we able to manage that, Pistons got this one. This is what I'm picking off. And then, like Lou said, they may not be trying to put their best effort into it tonight because they just came off another game last night. So that could be it as well.
So we got 2 votes on the Pistons. Carl, are you changing it up or are you rocking with the D today? No homo.
Man, the D.
Pause.
I said no homo.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, he beat me too often to be like, listen, you got a 2 pause minimum. Because now you just, but he beat me to it. You good?
I didn't think about that when you asked that question, but anyway, I was to say Detroit because they need to win, man. They need to win desperately, and it's hard to play, well off of back-to-back. Those are tough games to play, and I think just like you said, Detroit hasn't been playing well, and Houston may not put their full effort into the game, especially coming off a back-to-back. So, I think the Pistons could win this game. I think they will win because I think, as I thought about it, yeah, the big man matchup that they should dominate in the paint because you got 6'5" PJ Tucker on 6'10" Blake Griffin. You better win that matchup. And then you got Clint Capella. I think Andre wins that matchup. And and off the bench, who does Houston have really? Eric Gordon's hurt, so. I think they can easily win this game, matchup wise.
What if we got Wiggins for Griffin? No. I know it sounds crazy, but no. I like Wiggins, but no. Here's the reason why. If you're not going to utilize Wiggins in the starting lineup with Rose, why are you bringing him here? To do what? That's how I'm looking at it. To do what? Whoever they trade him for needs to come in and be needs to be like an extension to them putting Rose in the starting lineup. We can't do that now because of injuries and other stuff. But I don't know if I'm at a point to say, yeah, this is what I want to see, if I don't think they're going to both be on the court at the same time too often. So I would go no.
Yeah, I don't really want anyone from Minnesota at all.
I don't want Andrew Wiggins either because I question Andrew Wiggins' motor.
There's a reason Jimmy Butler wanted out of there because those guys are talented. Him and Cat are talented. But like you said, man, they don't have the will to be great. And both of them could be great. They could be some of the top players in the league, but they're really not. Karl Anthony Towns is just a default big man because there's not really too many big men in the league. He's soft. He's a great player, but he's soft. And that's a problem. You can't be soft in the NBA. Even though the league's softer, you have to be a hard player. No homo.
See, Drew keeping up.
I did. I was going somewhere different in my mind. That came out weird.
Yeah.
I was
pause.
You guys know what I was trying to get at. That you can't be soft. You have to be hard. No homo. Get some Viagra, Cialis, whatever you prefer. It happens
I
to
hear
everybody.
you.
You get to a certain age and you gotta keep it up. But to get back to the original question, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the Houston Rockets right quick before we transition to the next topic. So we got Carl, we got Luke, and we got Noam taking the Pistons. And since getting Blake Griffin, we have played very well against the Houston Rockets. I want to say we're 3-1, if not 4-0. I don't know statistics since getting Blake, but one of my questions going into this game is Blake going to be locked in? Because the previous times we have played Houston, they had Chris Paul. And Chris Paul and Blake Griffin played together in LA. And
Was it LA? Yeah.
And it was really, to me, through that matchup the last couple of years here with Blake versus Chris Paul, it felt like it was a matchup of seeing who was really the guy there in LA. And now that CP3 is not there, is Blake going to come out as fired up, as motivated to win this game as he did the last 3 or 4 times, whatever it was? To me, I don't know. I still think the Pistons should win this one just from the sole purpose of the Rockets playing a back-to-back and James Harden having to score 54 to win that game. He's probably going to be tired. To shoot a lot of threes, you need your legs underneath you. You need to have the stamina. If he's tired and he doesn't score over 30, there's no way Houston's going to win. But that being said, man, there's a reason Harden's one of the league's leading scorers is he knows how to score the ball. He gets a lot of foul calls. You're going to have to do your best tonight not to get frustrated with the foul calls. He gets them going his way. Same thing with Westbrook. Westbrook's going to try to take some of the pressure off of him and drive to the hoop. So you're going to have play pretty good defense in the paint. I'm going to go with the Pistons as well. I picked Dallas to win the last game. I think that the Pistons are going to have a bad taste in their mouth from Mexico City. I think that they're going to come out fired up tonight. They have to. They cannot come out flat. They have to come off with a hard yikes. Why do I keep saying hard? Why do you guys got me on this, man? You guys are in my head right now.
And I think you're right about the bad taste too, because at the Blake had to follow up behind Luke after that Spanish he broke out, and all he had was O-line. Yeah, I think he's like, man, I'm just glad to not be looking embarrassed like that. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right about that bad taste. Like I said, I couldn't remember was it yesterday or the day before that they played because I'm sleep deprived a little bit. I got kids, man. So but yeah, I just felt like, okay, that short turnaround, man, it's not going to be a lot of motivation on that end.
So I'm going with the Pistons. So the whole panel is taking the Detroit Pistons. If you guys feel different,
Detroit basketball.
There you go, sir. There you go, Luke. You're getting it. So let's go ahead and transition to this since we have been an hour. We got a couple more topics to talk about before we transition into you guys asking us whatever you guys want to ask us. As of late, Cleveland has been having their issues. It's Cleveland. Do I need to say more? But Beeline's been having a tough time controlling the locker room. You just seen literally last night, it looked like Tristan Thompson was about to punch him in the face. Like they were going at it. So it looks like it's not going good over there. And I don't know the area code, but it's Cleveland. It's a dumpster fire in almost every single sport they got right now. They just put out, I don't know who it was from, that Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, Sexton, along with several other players, with the exception of Garland, were to be made available via trade. Nomus J, man, should the Detroit Pistons capitalize on Cleveland being Cleveland and maybe grab I almost said Carlos. Should they grab Sexton?
Yeah, if they can get a hold to him, yeah, as long as it doesn't strip anybody that we dominantly need from the team, then yeah. Hell, you want to give him Thigh Maker, give him Thigh Maker. Give him fine, maybe come up with a package. You never know. At this point, they're fire sale, so see what the deal is, and maybe they should be talking to people because they need still more guard help anyway, because they don't have enough guys they count for shooting specifically at the point. So with Reggie being out, I would move on to that area as well.
Youngblood CA3, man. Should the Detroit Pistons capitalize on Cleveland being Cleveland and take a shot at trading for Carlos Sexton? Why do I keep calling him Carlos?
You mean conversation?
I don't know where Carlos came from. I'm still in Mexico City, man. I don't know why I keep saying Carlos. Should they trade for Sexton?
Yeah, I think they should take a chance, but it just depends on the price. I actually like Colin Sexton. I've known about the guy since high school. because I live in Atlanta and he's an Atlanta product. But I feel like he'll be a solid player. He'll be another guard, that we could use, especially when Red leaves next year.
Only thing I don't like about Sexton is his hair. Why does he still have the Jedi Knight Padawan little ponytail thing he's got going on, man? That was cool for his rookie year, because he was learning the ropes and stuff. But being year 2, man, you gotta cut that thing. That was a 1-year rental kind of a deal, man. You gotta.
No, listen. He had that hairstyle. He must have saw like some old episodes of Highlander and was like, I'm bringing this back. This is where it's going down there. So, but for me, the question, should we trade for him, is what's the price tag?
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying we got to give up to get him?
Mm-hmm.
I like this one. I like what D-Lock had, Thonmaker and Kyrie. I like Kyrie's potential, but you're trading for another young player. As long as you're trading Kyrie for a young player, I have no problem trading him because Sexton, he's shown me some promise, man. He looks like he's going to be a scrappy player. His offensive game's going to get better over time. You're going to be throwing him in with Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, and Andre. I think trading for him and having him pair up with Derrick Rose, I can't remember the person I was just talking to on Instagram about it, but he said that pairing him up with Derrick Rose and having Derrick Rose kind of rub off on him, no homo, is a good thing for his career, learning how to be an MVP. You guys got this thing in my head. I gotta specify it, bro.
Oh my God!
He said nothing. He said nothing.
I got.
Luke started today.
I didn't start nothing. I just listen. All I did say you got a 3 pause minimum. That's it. Nothing else. All right. That's all I said. You get a 3 pause minimum, then you're out of here. That's all I'm saying.
Luke comes down above the rim. We gotta watch ourselves, man. We gotta watch what we say. He ain't playing around, man. He's on.
That's right. That's right. I'm throwing flags and blowing whistles. Pause. Okay.
That's good. That's all good, man.
But if you telling me that we're giving up those 2 players for him, I mean a young talent, I guess I would, but I grow weary of players that have spurts of good play. Like I feel like every time the Pistons go after somebody who had a spurt, they get here and they spurt out of that good play, and I don't understand what happens.
Well, in his defense, he's in Cleveland. They lose. Coming to Detroit, I'm not saying we'd be head and heels better than everyone in the East, but we win a lot more games than Cleveland. And the NBA, when you're losing 60 games a year, if not more, that takes a toll. And that leaves a bad taste in his mouth. So I think getting out of Cleveland, no matter if it's Detroit or not, he's going to be revamped, rejuiced. He's going to be ready to rock and roll, fresh start. And wherever he's go, unless it's somewhere, who's the worst team right now? The Pelicans or whoever who's losing way more games than the Knicks. I think he's going to be all right because they're not going to lose as many games as Cleveland. So he's going to get a fresh start. Detroit would be a good place. It's not that far from Cleveland. We need a point guard. He'd instantaneously be a starter here. I think he'd be a good fit for the Detroit Pistons. Good fresh start. Okay. He'd play a little bit more consistent. He's got a lot more people to pass the ball to. His assists will go up. You have a lot more opportunity to score the balls. His points will go up. I think his stats will go up across the board. He won't be playing at so much garbage time. He would actually have a real team to play around.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay, I mean, listen, it's not gonna take much to convince me in basketball. Football gonna take a whole lot. I need to hear the whole plan, but you make a very good point. Coming from one team that's not having any success to a team that's middle of the pack success, that could be enough to spark him to keep his play up. So I see what you're saying.
The other thing is too, when we used to take players that had like showed spurt, like you were saying.
You see what you started, Luke, in the chat. You got them on their tiptoes in their chat.
Listen, everybody, respect the 3 pause minimum. He said, "I like Sexton, no homo." Hey, that's not me, man.
Hey, real quick before I switch it back to you, Noam. Flashy Pod, man, do you want to join the show or the DSA? You're going to have to hit me up on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll talk to you there privately off the show. So be sure to hit me up over there, and we'll talk to you about it. Go ahead, Nomus.
No, what I was going to say, in the past when we used to take a player that showed spark where he'd be kind of young. We had a coach named Stan Van Gundy who would just be terrible to us.
We don't say that. We don't say that name around here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
we treat him like Voldemort. You can't say his name.
Okay, I just call him Triple Chin Mafia. Okay.
He's RKFC. Remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. But he was very terrible with young players and even veterans at times. But you just said with young players, but he was terrible with veterans too. So it's like now we got more player-friendly coach coming here, so he'll be able to get the most out of it. And I think personally, Dwayne Casey would actually love Sexton personally as a player on his team. He's very feisty and very spiteful. That's the kind of guy he wants.
Sexton to me reminds me of like and I know I botched everybody's name, so don't y'all kill me. What's the guy from the Raptors?
Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, he reminds me of him. And I think Casey could use that type of player. I just worry if they gonna fizz out. Like he's having this success, and it's like, oh, he's showing something, but then can you keep it going? And that's where I get a little nervous about. But I get what Drew was saying. He makes a very good point in terms of us getting, a guy out of one situation into another. And change of scenery has been shown to be a proven way to get people going. So,
that Lowry comparison is not terrible. Lowry wasn't a very great player his first few years in the league. He gets traded to Toronto. Dwayne Casey turns him into an all-star. Not saying that would be the same scenario here. Lowry was in the league a lot longer than Sexton was before being traded, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I think Kyle Sexton's way more athletic than Kyle Lowry.
And I think Lowry's a better shooter. So I mean,
hey,
it's close.
Since we on the subject of trading from teams that are not doing well, what about Dennis Smith Jr.?
I like Dennis. Real quick, Bravo. Cleveland said that he is available. We are not making this up. This is from Cleveland, not me. I'm just trying to capitalize on it. But they said that he's available along with Kevin Love. They said the only person not available is Garland, even Kevin Porter Jr., which we should have drafted 30th. But back to you, Noam. I would love to.
Wait a minute. Why Bravo not on here? Because I had to ask him. I got this weird itch, and I was wondering if he can kind of help me in figuring out what this is. But since he's not on here, I can't ask this question.
No homo.
No homo. I was just having fun, man. But
Bravo is a doctor, so the flows you don't know that wasn't weird. I mean, he can.
No, that wasn't. Yeah, he's a doctor, so I was having a little fun.
I mean, you could do it. But yeah, I'd love to have Dennis Smith Jr., man. Absolutely would love to have this. I don't know why he's sucking so much over there in the Big Apple, but he is.
Well, that stage might be too big for him.
Well, he's not getting the same opportunities he was in Dallas either.
Yeah,
well, last year he was, but when he was with the Knicks last year, he was getting a lot of opportunity, but I think they like Frank more.
Well, Norman said, look, he said, how send me a message. hey, Bravo, I can send you a message, but won't be no pictures, bro. Okay? Doctor or not. We got pause minimum right here. 3 pause minimum. We can't go over that.
He told you to slide in his DM, so I'm
gonna
leave it at that.
Pause.
This is going to be Detroit Drew's new drinking game. Every above the rim we're doing from now on. Every time we have a pause or no homo, I'm doing a shot. Not today.
Yeah, right.
Maybe next week because I got a birthday party to go to after this, so I got to stay sober for that one.
I hear that.
Let's kind of slither into this. No homo. Do you guys think? I don't think we can trade for players until the 15th that have signed new contracts. So no D'Lo, no Robert Covington. I believe there was someone else that was on our target list. So I think it's tomorrow. Today's the 14th, correct? Yes, sir. So tomorrow we can officially start trading for these players. But do you guys think that the Detroit Pistons are going to be bold enough, smart enough, take enough risk to do this? Do you guys think the Pistons will make a trade at all from tomorrow up until the trade deadline? CA3, I'm going to toss this one to you, man. Do you see the Pistons making a move?
I mean, I see the Pistons making a move eventually because, I mean, this roster is just not going to cut it throughout the year. I mean, they got to make some kind of move. So, I mean, I can see them making a move. I don't know exactly what move they'll make, but, I can see them making a move soon. I don't think it'll be tomorrow, but some kind of move.
I'm not sure when the trade deadline is, but it's usually in February. right after the All-Star break, or is it before the All-Star? It's right around the All-Star break time. I don't remember if it's like the week before or the week after, but it's right around that time-ish. Nomus J, man, do you see the Pistons making a trade this season?
At least not at the moment. The Pistons to me sometimes like to let things drag real late. If they do, it'll be something we won't realize or see coming, like Bruce Brown being traded for Sexton or something like that. Yeah, I can see that. Some oddball reason happening, but other than that, I don't really see nothing happening right now. I think, like you said, they'll wait till around the All-Star break or almost near it. They like to wait till 2 weeks before the All-Star break and get some here. I can see that happening down that time.
Mr. Luke G, man, do you see the Detroit Pistons making a trade this season before the deadline?
No. Nope. No. Listen, they're trying to put butts in LCA. And if the trade that comes in is not going to put butts in LCA, they're not making a move. So, and then the question becomes, if you look at the Pistons, who do you really have to trade? There are people who already put butts in the seats. You're not going to. I don't think they're ready to move on from Drummond. I don't think they're ready to move on from Blake, and they're certainly not ready to move on from Rose. So now that leaves everyone else. And what are you really going to gain with everyone else? So no, I don't see them making no trade. I would be surprised if they did. And if they did make a trade, it's going to be so small and so significant, it's not even worth talking about. It's going to be like a bench player.
Can you relate to that personally?
Listen, I'm giving you a strike, okay? You're getting the pause. You got 2 to go for that comment. You got 2 more and you're out of here, okay? You got 2 minimum now. You're down to 2. Because that was one of those moments, okay?
Hey, you're used to hosting the show. I'm going to start swinging. I'm not going to strike out without swinging. So you got it, sir.
Okay, all right. Yo, it's crazy, man. Of all days, but yeah, I don't see that trade coming down at all.
I don't know if it necessarily is going to be a blockbuster trade. Certainly, D'Lo, if we trade Blake for it, that will make some news around the NBA. But it's not going to be probably one of those trades talked about throughout the league for a long time. It would be a big trade, but I don't know if the Pistons are looking to do a huge blockbuster trade. They need to. They need to trade for D'Lo. D'Lo could help save this team and take it to a different direction. He's a young player. He's a guy you can build around. I certainly want D'Lo here, and he is going to be made available here. I'm not saying that the Warriors are even going to trade him, but they will be taking some calls on him, and they've already received multiple calls on him, but nothing can be official until tomorrow. So he is officially in trading season. Again, I don't know if the Pistons will or not.
You know what? I had to say this. It's hard for me to see us trading for D'Lo on the factor of this. Yeah, okay, even if we were to give up Blake Griffin, there's no way we're going to be able to keep D'Lo, D-Rose, Reggie, and then still somebody else in rotation as well. We got a lot of guards. We'll have to do a 3-way trade in order for that to go down, at least.
You've been watching my videos, sir.
You have to find a way to really trade Reggie to get him involved with another team, because there's no way we're going to be able to make that trade now. Even they're not going to take Reggie and Blake and give us D'Lo. I don't see that.
I think because when I first started talking about this trade, I didn't throw Blake into the trade. I talked about trading for D'Lo and keeping both Blake and Dre. But now, since so many people want to trade Blake, and I can see it. You want to trade a 31, 32-year-old star. He's still a big name around the league. You want to trade him for a young player who in the East would be an all-star in D'Lo. If you throw Reggie and Blake in there, you got something. You can throw a first in there. I have no problem trading a first-round draft pick for a player like D'Lo, who was a young star. He's not in his 30s. He's not even in his high 20s. He's only been in the league for a few years. People forget about that. It feels like he's been in the league for a long time, and he really hasn't. He's only been in the league for, 4 years, 5 years at the tops? He hasn't been in the league. Yeah, he hasn't been in the league that long, and he's already shown improvement each and every year. He's matured as a player. He had the whole thing with Nick Young. It didn't really show that he was a mature player, but going to Brooklyn, I think, matured him a lot. That was really his team last year. They made the playoffs. They stole a game from Philly, and then he got traded via sign and trade to the Golden State Warriors. So even though he's been hurt, Curry and Clay's been hurt, he's had a few months there to really learn about a championship team. So I think mentally and physically, he has gotten better. I have no problem trading a bunch to get D'Lo. The only problem is you have to keep Andre Drummond then. If you trade for D'Lo, you re-sign Andre Drummond, because Drummond and D'Lo is a great 1-2 punch. What's the one thing I have been saying since we've got Andre Drummond? What's the one thing Everything King has been saying since we got Andre Drummond? We have not been able to put a legit point guard around him, or at least a good point guard around him. Trade for D'Lo, that's an all-star in the East. That pick and roll game is untouchable. Rather, you want to take away D'Lo's opportunities with the floater, layups, mid-range, whatever it is, he lobs it to Andre Drummond. They want to collapse the paint. This year, Langston Galloway and Lou Kennard have been shooting the lights out. You kick it to one of them. D'Lo is one of these players that can change this franchise's direction. So I'm all for trading for D'Lo, and I think we can do it. But Noam, you're right. I think that even if we include Reggie and Blake and at first, I still think that they're looking for more. I still think that there will be a third party involved in the trade.
Mm-hmm. But if y'all don't believe Drew, just pay attention to how many times he banged on the desk. He was in rare form. He wanted y'all to know that he's serious about this. So make sure y'all pay attention to that. Also, if you have not hit that like button, what are you waiting on? Okay, hit that like button, get this thing up, go tell a friend to tell his friend to tell his friend, then to tell his mom and his dad that we own, that we're doing this on Saturdays at 1 p.m. We're doing football on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You don't want to miss this. DSA is doing everything in their power to keep you in the game with your favorite teams that we all love. So if you're not hitting that like button, you're not subscribed, you're not hitting that notification bell when you miss a show, just know we're going to still love you. But we gonna give you the evil steak eye, like that one eye, that that pink eye when you know you don't want to look into his face because it's leaking. We gonna give you that eye. Make sure you hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen.
And if you have not hit that like button already, guess what? You're on strike number 1. Don't get 2 and 3.
That's right. Don't get 2 and 3. Okay,
hey, Luke, while you're on plugging information, man, whose channel is the pregame on? Whose postgame channel on? What time? Where can these people find it?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the pregame should be on Mike's channel, and the post should be on mine. I'm gonna talk to Mike a little bit later because he had just sent me a message asking that same question. But I would definitely be posting it on my community feed as well on Twitter, and as well as in my Discord. So definitely come in there and be a part of the Discord. The Discord does have a basketball section, so y'all got to get up in there so y'all can talk to the fans of that one main Discord. That one Discord is gonna get you to all the fans, to make sure we can talk about the sports that we love.
Yeah, I gotta get in there. I can't believe I'm not in there, but we'll get that thing sorted out, man.
I would say,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, but with going back to D'Lo, I mean, I would love to have D'Lo and Drummond. I mean, because they're both really young. I mean, D'Lo's 23 and Drummond's like 26. I mean, I would love to have that for the future of the team.
I don't know if D'Lo gonna matter if Andre Drummond don't want to stay down low, so it don't make a difference. Andre Drummond thinks he can move with the ball or away from the rim, and I think it's ridiculous. So if Andre Drummond don't learn that he needs to be more like Tim Duncan, getting D'Lo does not happen, because you want somebody down there that can be the benefactor if a mistake does happen, and Andre needs to learn that that's going to be your role, bro.
Bravo, man. I appreciate the $1.99. You are the real MVP, man. That's why I don't want you on the show, to be honest with you, man. You send super chats. I want the super chats. Not gonna lie. No, I greatly appreciate it. I'm thankful for all the people who send super chats. But he says, why can't we grab rebounds? Casey's coaching ? No, not per se. Rebounding is really a drive. And you want to talk about rebounding, guess what? The Detroit Pistons, throughout the history of the league, have had some of the greatest rebounders of all time. You want to talk Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, Ben Wallace, Andre Drummond. I mean, I can sit here and go ahead. Rasheed was an underrated rebounder. But the thing about rebounding is you need a talent for it. You need a natural reaction to know where the ball is going to go, but you have to want it more. Rebounding and defense is really a mentality thing. You talk about Mamba mentality. This is rebounding mentality. You gotta want the ball more than the other players. And right now, Andre only wants it, and Christian Wood only wants it. You look at Milwaukee; they are coached to go for the ball. They are coached as a team to go for it. So I mean, you can say it's coaching, but I mean, Blake doesn't really care. I mean, none of the guards really care about chasing the long rebounds. Markieff will grab one every once in a while. Thong, he can't grab a rebound to save his life. If someone had a gun to his family and said, "I need you to grab this rebound," we'd be having a funeral for his family. That would be sad. So we don't want to see that situation happen for his family, but his family would be doomed. Sucks to say.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, man. It really is a mentality. It's the same thing in football with running the ball. Running the ball is a mentality. Rebounding is a mentality. Either you have the dog in you to go for the rebound or you don't. Certain people actually get their rocks off on getting rebounding and bodying people. We don't have that guy. And until that guy shows up and actually gives a care about it, because at this point, when I hear that the rebounds that Drummond got, it's like, oh, it's an afterthought. So you have to make sure that it's always in the mentality of it.
Yeah, we need to find that that guy out there on the starting lineup that can definitely help with rebounding, though, for real, because it's limiting us. You know, that when you think about the old Spurs team that beat us, they were a great rebounding team. They could rebound. Everybody on that team could rebound, man. And then, of course, Tim Duncan, like you said. And the thing is, where we really need that rebounding comes from the offensive side. And we definitely need that, you know, because if you can control the time possession, you know, taking long-range jump shots can turn into easier buckets, which takes, you know, control, gets the offense going. People don't realize how much rebounding helps the game of basketball.
Hey, B-ball, man, I've been told, not personally, but I have been told that it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. So I don't know. Take that how you will. But yeah, we do need to get bigger. No homo. We do need
Oh
to
my
get
God.
I mean, Milwaukee's one of the biggest teams in the league, lengthwise. Just sounds all types of weird. So Carlos, say something stupid, man, so I don't sound so stupid.
Pause.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Luke G, man, before you split and skedaddle because you got some stuff to do. Do you have any final thoughts for us today before you leave? All right,
Yep.
if you got something to say before you leave, we'll cut you in. But it looks like Luke G is going to be heading out here pretty quick. Carl, do you got anything to say on this? What we were talking about? I can't even remember.
It was about how the Pistons were the fourth shortest team in the league. I mean, well, it's not really about. I mean, you can be a short team and still be a good team, but it just depends. You know, you just got to do all the things right. I mean, the Clippers are a very small team, but they're still a good team. I mean, because they have stars and they play defense.
Absolutely. Flashy product. I don't know why I screwed that. Said that Luke Kennard and Andre Drummond are out tonight. I'm trying to verify this, but if that's the case, man, are you guys going to give the Pistons a shot to win? Hold on, Luke G, are you back?
Yeah. I even if they're not playing, I still give them a chance to win. I just think that's even more reason to pick the Pistons because guess what? They might decide, hey man, let's rest some of our guys too. This is the new trend in the NBA. Let's save them for games. They don't care that you're spending your money to come see your favorite players. Let's rest our guys. I still give them a chance to win. So yes, I have no doubts about it. I do have to run. I got to take care of some family stuff. But I had a great time today. It was so much fun to talk something a little bit different than football, and to come on and rock with the fellas. And again, we do pre and post game for the Detroit Lions game, so definitely check those out. Drew, Big Take. I know they stream games, so you definitely want to check those out. And subscribe to all the members of the DSA. I end every show on a positive note. It's fun in games right now. We're having all kind of fun, and that's awesome. But laughter, the most contagious thing that you can never spread, laughter. And if you can just take one moment to take every situation that you ever had and just laugh at it, you just might find that maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe, just maybe, that if you laugh in the face of all the things that bring you down, you learn that whatever it was that tried to bring you down, surely but surely failed. And that in and of itself is worth a celebration. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA, hit those likes, hit that bell, and don't be no chump. Please do your research. Luke G has to go.
Hey, and unless you have herpes, that's no laughing matter. So I mean, you can laugh at anything but herpes. I mean, herpes is no joke, man. They say 1 in 3 people have herpes, so that's what 33%. You have a better chance to catch herpes than Bruce Brown does to make a three.
What in the world?
Wait. Now, hold on.
Hey, I've seen Bruce make a 3 before. The person you should be saying is Ben Simmons. That's the one.
So 1 in 3 people have a chance of catching herpes. You have a better shot at catching herpes than Ben Simmons does at making a 3.
Oh my God, Drew, you crazy. Y'all fellas have a good one, man.
Peace out. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We've been on for $1.25. We're gonna do some rapid fire stuff, and then we're gonna, while we're doing this, real quick, I'm gonna put it up here, guys. Go ahead and give me your league MVP so far this season. CA3 man, who has been your league MVP and why he is answering this? Go ahead and drop down in the comment section some questions you want us to answer. But we're gonna start off with this, man. Carl, who is your MVP this season?
My league MVP is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Spell Antetokounmpo for me real quick.
ANTETOKOU. No, KOUN. I think that's
close enough. Better than what I would have done.
But I think he's a league MVP. I think he's very efficient in what he does. I mean, he averages like 31. He averaged 31 points per game, like 13 or 14 rebounds, and he's just very efficient. I mean, and he plays defense as well. And his three is more consistent. His 3-point shot is more consistent this year. Way more consistent. He's shooting like 32.5% this year. And that's very consistent for him. And I was watching the last game where the Grizzlies were giving him trouble. He was in foul trouble, and he pretty much had out the whole third quarter. And then Jaren Jackson turned into like Steph Curry, but then Giannis just came in and just closed out the game real quick and gave him a quick 37 in like 25 minutes. That's just ridiculous.
Absolutely. There's a reason they call him the Greek Freak, man. Nomus, man. Who is your MVP?
Oh, right now the easy answer. I still need more time, but the easy answer right now is Giannis. I mean, let's be honest. He hasn't lost a step. It looks like he has improved more. Defense is still obviously there. I mean, man, he's probably going to be the MVP. You know, as it should go to a more complete player. It shouldn't just be all who's best offensively. Again, this guy offers you elite defense and elite offense. I mean, come on, it is Giannis right now.
Hey, Marvin, I don't dislike that. That's a pretty good answer, and it's the similar reason why I'm picking mine. Jimmy Butler has made the Heat one of the top teams in the East, but that's why I'm going Luka. Bravo, I seen you pick Luka. You beat me to it, but I had this one picked. Luka is the best young player in the league right now, besides Giannis. Because Giannis, we forget, is so young, and I think Giannis is going to probably run away with it since they're going to finish number one in the East. But I'm changing it up. I'm going to add some more candidates to this one. Giannis is unreal. It's true. And I like the Jimmy Butler pick for the same reason I'm going Luka. Luka has made the Dallas Mavericks relevant. They went from one great European player in Dirk to the next one in a Luka. They're very similar finesse players. They're not dominant. They're a different type. Giannis is a dominant player. Luka is more finesse. I mean, we just seen this firsthand the other night. He gave us a 41-point triple-double against us, and he's under 21. You want to talk about Jason Tatum being the young and stuff? Nah, skip me with that Jason Tatum stuff if you're a Celtics fan. Luka is the real deal. He is leading this team to being one of the best teams. Right now, they would have a home court advantage playoff game if it ended right now. We still have a long way to go. I mean, it's still very early in the season, but Luka is just another player. Tony, I appreciate the $1.99 as well. He says, not only MVP, Bucks win the title. Hey, you know, a number one seed's favorite to win the title. Right now, it'd be the Lakers versus the Bucks, a must-see NBA final. So I'm not going to disagree.
I don't know about that statement.
About winning the finals or must-see TV?
They win the finals. I don't think the Bucks will win the finals because I simply put it here. I mean, if you go by matchup-wise, I mean, Anthony Davis and Giannis will probably cancel each other out, but like, who on that team is gonna guard LeBron? I mean, nobody.
I mean, teams have to have favorable matchups, man. If not, I mean, they just run away with everything. I think that you'll see Giannis being switched on to Anthony Davis and LeBron. I think personally, AD versus Giannis is a better must-see matchup. Like, they play very similar. And it's like a must-see matchup right there. But Giannis mentally, he needs to be guarding LeBron to show LeBron, like, you're not the best player in the world anymore, that I am. So for his individual sake, he needs to be guarding LeBron. But the better matchup is to put him on Anthony Davis, if that makes sense.
I mean, you're gonna have to be honest on AD. I mean, there's nobody there's nobody else who you're gonna put on AD on the Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna put on AD. You know.
Right. You're right. It's a must-see TV, man. I want to watch it. Like the finals this year, no matter who it is, if it's not the Lakers, if it's not the Bucks, I feel is must-see TV because we're getting something different. It's not going to be Cleveland and the Warriors again. It is going to be something different. It's must-see TV no matter who it is. So I'm ready for a fresh start for this NBA Finals because it's going to be something different that we have not seen. So we will see. But we've been on for $1:30. I know we didn't answer too many questions, but next week we will try to answer some more of them. I just have some other errands to do. I have to go to a birthday party for my honor. My birthday is Wednesday, so we're doing it now so the whole family can celebrate. So I appreciate everyone coming out today. We had a great show. Appreciate Mr. Luke G coming on for the first time. We popped his cherry on the basketball show. No homo. It was great to have him on and change it up. We'll definitely have a good conversation next week. It's just good to have the NBA season back, to have some NBA rumors, trade rumors. Pistons are playing, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But CA3, man, what do you got to wrap this up for final thoughts?
First of all, support every DSA member. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and you guys should tune into the roundtable pregame and postgame tomorrow for the Lions. I mean, I know the Lions are trash, but just tune in. Still tune in, because they're still part of what we do at the end of the day, and it's fun to be on this show today. I've been busy these past few weeks. It's fun to talk to you guys again, and tune in for Above the Rim next week on Saturday at 1 p.m. And it was nice being on the show, and that's all I gotta say, man.
Absolutely. It is the holiday season, so be sure to spread some love and some joy by hitting that like button. Checking out the description for Instagram and Twitter. All DS members are in there as well, as he said. But Nomas, man, what do you got for us for final thoughts today?
Yeah, man. The Pistons have to definitely find a way to get back right where they need to be. It's still early, so I believe they can, without a doubt. And of course, sorry I was late, guys. I had a lot of business to take care of. Been real busy this week. But yes, I promise you, content is coming out on my channel. Just hang tight with me. So thank you for everybody in the chat, man, for rocking with us. And of course, the fellas on the podcast with me. God bless everybody, man. Subscribe to us, and I'm out, man.
Real quick for everybody in the chat who's still here, I'm going to try to go live for tonight's game, but I don't know what time I'm going to be home. I do believe they play at 9:00, but guess what, man? DSA is more than just me. It's more than just CA3. It's more than just Gnome. We have a whole entire group, and I want to salute Big Take for picking up the slack, because 9:00 is kind of late for people who have to work early in the morning, but he powered through it, and he went live for the Dallas Mavericks game. So what I need from you guys, I think part of the reason the Pistons do so well when I stream is we have a pretty good turnout. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tonight. So what you're going to want to do is go to Big Take's channel, because more than likely he is going to be live streaming the game if I am not. So that way the DSA has got you covered for all that one. So be sure to subscribe to all the DSA members for when I am not able to go live during the game. Although we are 7-2 when I do go live, we're going to make that 8-2 Monday at the very, very latest. So thank you guys for coming out. You guys have a good, blessed Saturday, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.